Steph Curry is already basketball royalty, but now he's stepping into a whole new kingdom, animated cinema. The Golden State Warriors superstar isn't just lending his name to a project here and there, he's producing his own feature film, and it's called GOAT. And what makes this even more exciting for hoops fans, especially fans of women's basketball, is that two of the WNBA's biggest names, Reese and A'ja Wilson, are right there with him, front and center in the cast. We're watching a new kind of power move. For years, we've seen male NBA legends cross over into Hollywood, but GOAT feels different. It's Steph Curry building a world that mirrors his own journey, then inviting WNBA stars and elite actors to share the spotlight. If you're paying attention to how women's basketball is rising, this film is another major sign that the game's queens are being seated at the same table as the kings. The premise of GOAT is clever and very on-brand for Curry. The film follows a young GOAT named Will who dreams of becoming great in a wild, high-contact, mixed-gender sport called Rugaball. Think of it as a rugged, alternate universe version of basketball, dominated by huge, powerful animals who don't exactly roll out the red carpet for smaller players. Will is undersized, underestimated, and constantly being told what he can't do. Sound familiar? Instead of backing down, the little GOAT takes his shot. In this world of Rugaball, brute strength and size seem to rule, but Will uses skill, heart, and persistence to challenge that entire mindset. His teammates doubt him, his opponents don't respect him, and the environment is stacked against him, yet he keeps showing them, play after play, that talent, conviction, and relentless efforts can break through the assumptions about who belongs at the top. You can see Curry's fingerprints all over that message. For most of his career, he's embodied the idea that you don't have to be the biggest or strongest to dominate basketball. He spent over a decade proving that a little guy with elite skill and belief in himself can overturn the entire power structure of the sport. That's what makes this film feel personal. It's not just a random kids movie, it's a reflection of the philosophy that's made him a four-time champion and a global icon. The character of Will be brought to life by Caleb McLaughlin, who a lot of viewers know from Stranger Things, where he plays Lucas Sinclair. Casting McLaughlin is a smart move. He already resonates with younger audiences, but he also has the acting chops to carry emotional weight. You need someone who can tap into that mix of insecurity, courage, and humor that defines an underdog, and he's a very natural fit for that. But let's talk about the part that really lights up WNBA fans. Reese and A'ja Wilson joining the voice cast. These aren't background cameos, they're key roles in Steph Curry's first big animated feature. Reese, now at the Chicago Sky and already one of the most recognizable personalities in women's basketball, will voice Prop, a polar bear who plays on one of Will's rival teams. Just sit with that for a second. A fierce polar bear competitor voiced by one of the most competitive forwards in the women's game. It feels perfectly aligned. On the other side, Las Vegas Aces superstar A'ja Wilson will voice Kuyate, a crocodile. Wilson is a multi-time WNBA champion and MVP and absolutely at the center of any conversation about the best players in the world. Giving her the role of a tough, commanding crocodile sounds like exactly the kind of presence you'd want on a powerful fictional team. Both characters add edge and intensity to the world Will is trying to break into, and both are voiced by women who embody excellence in real life. This isn't the first time either of them has appeared on screen, but GOAT marks a new milestone in both their careers. Reese had a brief appearance in the film A House of Dynamite, which dropped in October of last year. That was live action, and this time she's taking on voice acting, which is a whole different craft. For A'ja Wilson, fans may remember her quick appearance as herself in Space Jam: A New Legend, sharing space with some of the biggest names in the NBA. Now she's stepping into a full character role in an animated universe, not just popping in as A'ja Wilson from the Aces. There's something powerful about that shift. When you go from cameo status to playing a character with a name, a design, and a role in the story, you're no longer just a guest, you're part of the storytelling architecture, and that matters for women's basketball. It means WNBA athletes aren't only being asked to show up as themselves, but are being trusted to help carry a film narrative forward. Curry's own family is directly involved as well. Steph himself will voice a giraffe named Lenny Williamson. It's a fun twist, considering how often fans joke about his baby-faced look, despite his all-time resume. His wife A'ja Curry will also appear as the voice of Carol, further anchoring the film in the Curry family brand. You're basically seeing a basketball dynasty move into animation together. The cast doesn't stop there. Another NBA legend, Dwayne Wade, is part of this project too. He'll be voicing a bull named Rosette, bringing his own Hall of Fame-level aura into the mix. Then you've got Nicola Coughlan, known from Bridgerton and Derry Girls, voicing Olivia Burke in Ostrich. And to round out the Stranger Things connection, David Harbour, who plays Jim Hopper in that series, will voice a rhinoceros named Archie Everhart. It's a genuinely star-studded lineup that pulls in audiences from across sports, TV, and film. Behind the scenes, GOAT is backed by serious creative muscle. The movie is being produced by Steph Curry's company Unanimous Media in partnership with Sony Pictures Animation. And if the names behind the animation look familiar, they should. The artists involved have also worked on projects like K-pop Demon Hunters and Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. That last one especially is considered one of the most visually innovative animated films in recent memory. So when you hear that the same people are involved with GOAT, it raises expectations for how bold and beautiful this world could look on screen. The film is directed by Tyree Dillahai, who brings his own experience in animated storytelling. All of this points to GOAT being more than just a vanity project or a quick cash-in. It's lined up to be a polished, theatrical-level release with legit heart, comedy, and style. And yes, it is a full theatrical release. GOAT is scheduled to hit cinemas exclusively on February 13th. That timing is no accident. Dropping right in the thick of basketball season and close to key NBA and WNBA calendar moments, it gives sports fans and families a clear reason to hit the theaters. It's also the kind of date that can anchor a franchise if the movie takes off.
For women's basketball, this film arrives at exactly the right time. The conversation around the WNBA has never been louder. A'ja Wilson is leading a dynasty-level aces team. Angel Reese is one of the most discussed young players in the game, both for her on-court impact and her massive social media presence. When those two step into animation, not as side notes, but as real characters, it sends a message. Women's basketball isn't a niche side of the sport. It's part of the main cultural narrative. We've seen NBA players dominate the space before. Michael Jordan had Space Jam, LeBron James followed with Space Jam: A New Legacy. Those films leaned heavily on the NBA's star power. What Curry is doing with GOAT feels like the evolution of that idea. This time, it's not just about the men. The fictional game in the movie, A'ja Ball, is mixed gender. The voice cast includes WNBA icons next to NBA legends. That visual, even in animated form, matters for kids watching. Imagine a young fan sitting in a theater, seeing a polar bear and a crocodile voiced by Angel Reese and A'ja Wilson bawling out in a full-contact sport alongside characters voiced by Steph and Wade. That kid absorbs the idea that greatness in basketball is not limited by gender. That's where representation stops being a slogan and starts becoming normal. A'ja Ball itself is a brilliant concept. It exaggerates what we already see in real-life basketball: size, contact, pace, and physicality. By making it a chaotic, animal-populated sport, the film can lean into comedy and absurdity while still landing a serious message. Will, the small goat, isn't supposed to win. The world of the sport is built to favor the biggest, scariest animals. But through grit and skill, he cuts through that expectation, and in doing so, he challenges the whole system. Again, that mirrors Steph Curry's own legend. In a league obsessed with length and strength, he weaponized shooting, spacing, and creativity to the point that the entire NBA had to adjust. GOAT takes that underdog arc and rebuilds it into something kids can follow, laugh with, and be inspired by. And having WNBA superstars on the other side of that battle just makes it richer, because it echoes what they deal with too. Constantly fighting for respect, attention, and recognition in a space that historically favored bigger markets and bigger bodies. You can also feel the weight of the word GOAT itself. In sports culture, GOAT, greatest of all time, is a loaded title. People argue about it daily, especially in basketball. Is it Jordan? LeBron? Where does Curry fit? Naming the film GOAT is tongue-in-cheek, but it's also a signal. It's about redefining what greatness even looks like. Maybe greatness is a tiny goat outplaying a rhino. Maybe greatness is a guard who isn't built like a tank but changes the game forever. Maybe greatness is a WNBA forward breaking box office ceilings as well as rebounding records. For Reese and A'ja Wilson, this movie is another brick in their growing empires. They're already champions in their own right. Reese at the collegiate level and now carving her lane in the pros. Wilson as the cornerstone of a WNBA powerhouse. Adding voice actor in a major Sony animated film to their resumes expands their reach far beyond people who watch league games or follow box scores. It makes them recognizable to kids who might not yet know what the WNBA is, but will recognize those voices and characters down the line. It also reinforces something a lot of us who follow women's hoops have been saying. The demand is there, the audience is there, the talent is there. All that's needed is opportunity. When big projects like GOAT cast WNBA players in meaningful roles, it's not just a nice gesture, it's good business. Fans of Angel and A'ja will show up. WNBA supporters who have been asking for more mainstream visibility will show up. And if the movie is genuinely good, which from everything lined up behind it, it has a real chance to be, general audiences will show up too. So, as February 13th approaches, GOAT is shaping up to be more than just a cute animated sports film. It's Steph Curry expanding his kingdom beyond the three-point line. It's Reese and A'ja Wilson moving from hardwood to Hollywood. It's men's and women's basketball sharing equal space in a creative project backed by a major studio. And it's a young animated goat named Will carrying a message that's deeply familiar to anyone who's ever been told they're too small, too different, or too unlikely to succeed. I'm curious what you think. Are you planning to watch GOAT when it hits theaters? How do you feel about Reese and A'ja Wilson stepping into these animated roles alongside Steph Curry and Dwayne Wade? And do you think projects like this help push women's basketball closer to the global spotlight it deserves? Let me know your thoughts, and keep an eye on this one, because if GOAT hits the way it looks like it can, we might be talking about the start of an entirely new chapter for how basketball royalty on both the men's and women's side shows up on the big screen.